G'day mate, welcome to InfraSpace with me, Jedit. Now, InfraSpace is a brand new game just released today on Humble, GOG and Steam, and I've got to say it's a bit of a weird mashup. In fact, I'm actually going to put the trailer up on the screen right now because looking at the main menu is pretty boring and we can sort of talk through the game at the same time. Now, InfraSpace it's a surviving Mars. It's colonizing a new planet, but rather than surviving Mars style, we just had to worry about money. Like, who cares about money on a brand new planet? You had to worry about resources, like raw resources, getting to a new planet, colonizing it by mining the local resources, to then turn those local resources into something that's actually useful for your colony. Being, very, very early on, oxygen, food, water, those sort of very, very basic things. And then from there, you get to work on, iron and concrete and steel smelting and electronics and VR headsets for schooling on the new planet because, well, let's face it, you're not going to have an endless supply of colonists always choosing to move to the bright new frontier. Yes. So the game it's a survival city builder crossed with a production game, but really, really leans on the logistics. And I've got to say, for the time that I've been playing it now, I have been playing the alpha for a couple of weeks. Daniel over at Dionic Software was kind enough to give me an alpha key and then has upgraded that to an early access key so I can bring you this sort of video. And I've got to say, it is a very different game. It has launched in early access today, $25. Again, most games that were on their launch week, it's 10% off. I would highly recommend, if anything I've said so far or anything I say in this video makes you check it out, I really would appreciate it if you'd grab it from the Humble store. Grab yourself a Steam key from the Humble store. There is a link down in the description and it does help out the channel. Now, I've played this game a fair bit and a lot of dev companies, they do some sort of update, like, a once a month update or a once every couple of months update. The guys over at Dionic Software, which is only a team of 3, okay, it's a very, very small team. In saying that, they have already successfully launched a early access game that went from early access to final release to, hell, they actually even just recently released all the graphical assets for the game to the modding community, which is, personally, I think is great. But as I said, the devs are busy little bees. They have been doing for 41 weeks now, so almost a whole year, weekly updates. So weekly updates where they reach out to the community and they talk over what they've added, what they're adding, what they're thinking about adding, all that sort of stuff. Now, some devs do this. Some devs post updates to Discord and they'll jump into their Discord with their community and chat with a closed group of people. This is public. This is public in their forums, on Steam, on their Discord. They get feedback from everybody, which, look, after seeing some very, very good developers and some very bad developers, I gotta say, this definitely puts the developer crew into a good basket in my book. Anyway, with all that out of the way, I'm going to take you through the very early stages of the game, and then we're going to go look at some more complete bases, those that have had a chance to spend a number of hours in the game. So we start on a planet. A planet, pretty boring, nothing too much to it. You can see there's resources spotted around the area. We got iron ore, uranium, copper, more iridium, iridium, all sorts of different resources. What we're actually looking for is a bit of iron near a bit of copper near a bit of sulfur. Boom, boom, boom. Done. Okay. And then you might notice how far I zoom in. Oh yeah. The game is massive. So we're going to need a couple of basics to get our colony up and running. Just the absolute basics, which is all I'm going to really be covering in this video, just to give you a feel. So we're going to need some sulfur. We're going to need some sand. Now, two things I've realized about this game so far: the resources seem to be infinite. Now, whether that changes in the future, I don't know, but the resources do seem to be infinite. And then we need some road. Now, one thing I do love about this game is buildings don't have to be placed on a road. If we go to the move function, you can see this guy's not really placed on a road. He's placed just off a road and then gets a little joining road. It's great. It does mean that you don't need to, worry, does this fit inside this city block or that city block or that sort of stuff. We're going to need a couple more basics, one of them being obviously a spaceport so we can bring in our very, very first settlers. We're also going to need a concrete factory, which we're going to whack up here. And as you can see, my concrete factory is going to get a bonus from the sulfur and the sand mine because it requires sulfur and sand. And being in a close proximity, we get an 8% bonus from each, which means this guy's going to run 16% faster for nothing. At the same time, we're going to need some power. Obviously, brand new planet. Best power to grab is going to be some wind power. We're going to just pop a wind, the power pole there. Will actually, spaceport doesn't need power. And then the last thing we're going to have to grab is obviously some storage to put all our junk in. Actually, we'll put it on that side of the road. That way we can keep an eye on it. And we're also going to need some basic habitats to keep our people in. And then lastly, of all the things you're going to need, an atmospheric processor, you know, to make some air. Now, of course, they will need power, so we're just going to drag our power. And this is one of the things I loved. We can just drag power poles. So I can click on the existing power pole and just drag it to there. Oh, look, there's my second power pole. Yay, and my third power pole. That's just a little time saver. Okay, so we can see that we have 116% efficiency because we're getting a bonus from both these two bad boys. And we're just going to run through time just a little bit because, like I said, I just want to give you guys the intro into the game. The very, very bare basics before we wander through a more complete city. We are going to need... Alright, so we've had our space plane come in and land, and we're going to have to wait for a new one to come back to bring in some new colonists because we didn't get oxygen up and running in time. And as you can see, I have 3 oxygen right here. Now, what's going to actually happen is, logistics-wise, there we go. A tank is going to leave carrying oxygen from the first building into the second building. Well, from the atmospheric processor that actually makes oxygen and ship it over the basic habitat, which now has oxygen. His friends don't have oxygen yet, but it's a start. And then we have a little purple car leave the spaceport because we have people in the spaceport waiting to move in, and they're going to come out and they're also going to move into the house. And, you know, straight away we have 2 out of 8 people. We're making progress. And this is really the basics of the game. Now, there's a lot more in-depth in this game. Like I said, I'm only showing you the first 5 minutes. I'm not going to even attempt to show you the whole game because there's a fair bit of technology. And don't forget, this is just the very, very first early access edition. I'm expecting a lot more to be added to this tech tree as the game progresses. On top of that, we have... you know, upgrading our city, so to speak, to bigger and better colonies with more and more higher level citizens. We have prioritization, good old prioritization. It turns out we don't have enough sand. Well, there you go. Check that real quick. Sand. Can I get another sand mine? You know what? We're going to whack you in there. You don't have a road. You know what? That'd be really frustrating in other games, but what we can do is we can move you over and you over and just put a little right angle right there on the end. Okay, so we have plenty of sand now. We can head into jobs, so we can see that, you know, we're going to have a certain amount of jobs and that's going to require a certain amount of people. We have population overlays. We have some very, very basic overlays along with power, sand, sulfur, concrete, carbon, oxygen. They are only the resources we've discovered so far. There's a lot more to go. We also have districts, so we can make a district or remove a district. You might be familiar with these from games like City Skylines, SimCity. I do admit that I'm a secret fan of the SimCity series, even the horrible ones. Yeah, I played SimCity, not so much 1, but definitely SimCity 2000. 3000, I think it was. SimCity 2. SimCity 2, then SimCity 2000 Network Edition, then SimCity 3000, I want to say, then SimCity 4, and then the other ones that we won't talk about. I've played all of them, and not an insignificant amount of hours each of them. So yes, there are districts here, and you can set up all sorts of different district types. You can set up whether district imports or exports, or whether resources can migrate between two different districts without an issue. We also have certain visualizations, so efficiency, occupancy, power, so on and so forth. All the same things you get in a normal city building game. But what I want to do now we have a fledgling colony that has a little bit of oxygen, a little bit of people, and a little bit of stuff going. We're not going to head into research. That's way outside the depth of this video. I do love that the space plane just lands all the time. I don't know why it just fires its engines when it lands. It's probably just to make sure the dust leaves the rear of the engines, but it's really, really cute. Okay, what I want to do is I want to go and look through some finished bases, so to speak. Firstly, I need to thank Drautman, Winnetou, Mark Homer, and ASM for sending me a couple of saves that I could actually look through a more experienced, more playtime base than what I actually had available to me, because I didn't have enough time to get up to late game in the alpha. Anyway, with that out of the way, we're going to have a quick look through this particular base. And as you can see, like, we've got a mining outpost. We actually have these green buildings here making electronics, and as you can see, the traffic gets worse and worse as we continue into town. We have a siding building out to go grab more resources. And as we can continue downtown, we can see that, you know, we have a little housing district, and then some food, that's what that is. And moving into a fledgling city. A fledgling city with a little bit of production in the city with a, that's a park. Oh, cool. Yes, stop camera. A park. A blooming universe. Priority limited. Yes, you'll find a lot of brand names whacked across the sides of buildings, and we have New Asgard, home of the donks, ? Yes, because you can put down signs. You can put down giant Hollywood-style signs and name each of your districts, which I love. So with that out of the way, let's look at a slightly more busy base. And before we do that, let's talk about a couple of little things. So we do have this move tool, and we can see that we can lock onto certain things. And I can, on the fly, move different roads around, which is just massive. On top of that, we can see we have all the advanced options when it comes to routing traffic. In fact, no, that goes to that way, that goes to that way, that, ooh, oh, that's, yes, that goes to there, that goes to there. Which one am I missing? That goes to there, yes. Right-hand drive. I'm so not used to right-hand drive. Anyway, unlike other games, like a certain city Skylines, where you had to either grab a mod to get this sort of functionality, or wait till a DLC was finally released, and then I think it was a paid product first, and then became free later on. This is automatically included in the game, which is going to make your traffic nightmares slightly less. And as we can see, we have a little bit more of a fully fledged out city. Had a few hours worth of playtime, has a little bit of production going on, but I want to have a look at, you know, the intricate highway spaghetti that we have here. And again, we're going to go back to that move tool. And have you ever played any sort of transportation game, any sort of city building game where you just need to rearrange something slightly just to get a building in here in the middle of the let's go call this a roundabout, but let's go with an interchange. Yes, and you just need to move the road slightly. You had to deconstruct everything and reconstruct everything to make sure the building would fit. We can RNF. I can just rearrange things on the fly. And you might notice those pillars never ever end up really on another road, which, as somebody who played City Skylines, is going to save me 1,000 hours. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's go... Oh, and a whole bunch of pollution. Yeah, a whole bunch of pollution. Let's go for a bit of a tour. As you can see, this base may or may not have a traffic problem caused by the latest update. We have a small housing block down here. Obviously, this is suburban hell, where everything's done in straight lines, with a few, not a stadium. It's actually clearly marked along the sides. They're arenas. A couple of parks keep everybody happy. A school, a planetary university, some parks, you know, a lovely little colony. Obviously a spaceport, so we can have new settlers arrive. And then if we follow the highway you might find the industrial sector that feeds this, considering the amount of traffic we have going one way rather than the other. And as we wander along, we're going to find one industrial... I wouldn't call it a mess. It's fairly straight lines. But what really, really amazed me by this about this base was the fact that I could slide the camera almost into the ground. Was the wonderful traffic nightmare that this player had happened to build. This is perfectly legitimate. It all works. I have no idea how it works. I have no idea if they remember how it works. It reminds me of something out of a roller coaster ride. It definitely reminds me of a roller coaster ride, and I hope all the vehicles get to their destinations safely. Yes, but this is InfraSpace, okay? It is InfraSpace. I've got to admit, for an alpha game, I've put a lot of hours into it already. For a game that's just got an early access, I can guarantee I'm going to be putting a lot more hours in the game. If you're interested in this game, you want to see more of InfraSpace, by all means, click the like button. At the same time, click the subscribe. If you would like to see a full Let's Play, please, in the comments, tell me so. Tell me so. We could probably fit it in. And lastly, if you're interested in grabbing this game for yourself, by all means, please use that humble link down in the description below. And on your way out, can you do me one last favour? Can you say hi to your mum for me? Alright, that's it. We're out. Thanks for watching. Bye.